Well, 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 look who's back again. The infamous AND clan rears its ugly head once more, like a persistent thorn in our side. Remember those disturbing antics we discussed earlier? If not, I suggest you revisit our previous videos for a refresher on their unsavory behavior. It's truly astounding how they manage to sink to new lows with each encounter. Now, let's delve into the meat of the matter. Notice how effortlessly we dispatched them this time around. It was almost laughably easy, considering we were using subpar builds while they struggled to keep up with some basic armor region setups. After exposing their incompetence and demonstrating their complete lack of skill in the game, they predictably fell back on their trusty main builds. Ouroboros Striker, as predictable as the sunrise. As they shamelessly attempted to spawn trap the door for easy kills, they resorted to their usual tactics, falsely claiming a multi-group pushback when in reality, I single-handedly decimated their entire squad. Yes, you heard that right. It was a 1 versus 4 scenario, and they didn't stand a chance against my prowess. It was almost too easy, like swatting flies. But wait, there's more. When we decided to regroup and flag up as a unified force, they scattered like frightened mice, retreating in multiple groups to avoid facing us head-on. And oh, the irony of it all. Witness how swiftly Kilo met his untimely demise once again. Perhaps he should consider hiring a competent roofer to tend to his leaky roof, instead of squandering his time and energy in futile attempts to best us in battle. Despite their stubborn adherence to their go-to builds, which clearly aren't doing them any favors, they persist in their delusions of grandeur. It's a tragic comedy of sorts, watching them flounder in their feeble attempts to assert dominance. As the battle rages on, Kilo makes a valiant return to the fray, only to meet his inevitable end alongside his hapless healer companion. Speaking of which, let's not forget their so-called healers' laughable attempts at producing build videos. It's a spectacle in itself, watching him perish countless times in pursuit of a few fleeting clips, revealing the hollow facade behind their supposed expertise. In conclusion, the AND clan's antics never fail to entertain, albeit in a cringe-worthy manner. It's like watching a train wreck in slow motion, painful, yet strangely captivating. One can't help but wonder if they'll ever learn from their mistakes, or if they're doomed to repeat them ad nauseum. After a prolonged pursuit, we finally cornered these hapless opponents in a 4 versus 4 encounter. It's quite telling that they prefer to scurry around the map, unable to secure kills as effortlessly as they would at the door. Keep a keen eye out for Kilo. He falls victim to my precise marksmanship with a swift one-clip takedown. Take note of their healer's reckless behavior, boldly pushing forward only to meet an inevitable demise. It's rather pathetic, isn't it? Despite their feeble attempts at resistance, this encounter proved to be a straightforward wipe. However, it's worth mentioning that one of their members chose the coward's route and fled in sheer terror, leaving his comrades to face their fate alone. Perhaps it's high time for someone to extend a helping hand to their beleaguered comrade, as he seems to possess a penchant for hightailing it whenever I make my presence known. After all, there's only so much one can do to evade the inevitable confrontation. Clearly, their healer struggles to keep anyone alive. They often resort to making videos at the door, where securing kills is a breeze. Has anyone else picked up on that trend? This guy, in his misguided attempt to push forward, believes he stands a chance against me. Yet, he's the same individual who scurries away whenever he encounters me solo. How did he meet his demise in such a fashion? Take note of his teammates' enthusiastic clapping. They seem to revel in cheap kills, especially when faced with superior opponents like us. In this forthcoming engagement, we find ourselves embroiled in yet another riveting 4 versus 4 skirmish. Among our adversaries stands the notorious crackhead Druggy, notorious not only for his illicit habits, but also for his unfortunate living conditions with a perpetually leaking roof. The pitiful sight, compounded by his evident struggles with weight and an insatiable appetite. Can you even begin to guess what sort of builds they're deploying against us this time? I wager you could make an educated guess without me needing to divulge any details. In response to the anticipated onslaught, we opted for a strategic maneuver, pushing back to maintain a calculated distance from their advances. Remarkably, they were quick to decry our tactics as cheesy, conveniently turning a blind eye to their own reliance on some of the most exploitatively overpowered setups the game has to offer. It's a baffling double standard, isn't it? Meanwhile, our dear friend Kilo, dubbed Kathy in a rather curious twist, appeared to be engaging in a peculiar ruse, adopting the persona of a female and speaking in the third person. The motives behind such behavior are dubious at best and deeply unsettling at worst. But I digress. Returning to the fray, it becomes abundantly clear that we hold the advantage by strategically maintaining our distance. Their reluctance to engage us directly may stem from various factors. Perhaps Kilo's perpetual state of hunger, with his insatiable appetite for calories left unfulfilled, or simply because they recognize superior adversaries when they see them. It's no wonder they invariably resort to the striker build, a desperate attempt to level the playing field against our superior skill and strategy. As the battle unfolds, take note of how effortlessly we secure yet another wipe on them. Watch as they hastily retreat in the face of our relentless advance. Are they truly intimidated by our prowess? Feel free to share your thoughts on the matter. And what of their propensity to eschew fair 4 versus 4 battles without resorting to underhanded tactics? Despite their bravado in calling us out, they consistently shy away from any attempts to arrange a proper showdown. What do you believe motivates their persistent avoidance of legitimate confrontation with other clans? It's a question that begs deeper scrutiny. Following the demise of our 2 teammates, who fell victim to their predictable cheesy builds, the dynamics swiftly shifted to a daunting 2 versus 4 scenario. Despite the odds stacked against us, our superiority as players became glaringly evident. With unwavering determination, we asserted our dominance and swiftly brought them down, leaving one to scurry away in a futile attempt to evade his inevitable fate. One can't help but wonder, was he too afraid, or perhaps too embarrassed to face the inevitable defeat in a 2 versus 4 showdown? Once again, we find ourselves ensnared in the familiar web of their notorious spawn trapping ploy, bolstered by their signature builds. It's genuinely bewildering how they allowed us to emerge victorious in this instance. Equipped with their preferred loadouts, one would naturally anticipate their dominance on the battlefield. Yet, they stumbled, failing to achieve their intended objective. And take a moment to appreciate those beams. They're truly a spectacle to behold, aren't they? A refreshing departure from the monotony of the striker Ouroboros tactic, wouldn't you agree? Perhaps it's a testament to our superior skills and strategic acumen that we managed to thwart their onslaught. Despite their reliance on predictable maneuvers, they simply couldn't match our level of proficiency. It's evident that they will forever regard us as paragons of excellence in the gaming sphere. Until next time, folks, stay tuned for more thrilling encounters with the AND clan, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comments below.